Hey everyone, Brian from Three Geeky Dads here. Before we begin tonight's episode, I just want everyone to know that we are now sponsored by Audible. As an IT professional for a school department, I find myself behind the wheel of my car traveling between schools almost all day long, and that's where Audible comes in. Right now, I'm enjoying listening to Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, read by Stephen Fry. It's so enjoyable to hear this hilarious audiobook read by a proper British comic actor. And that's just scratching the surface. Audible is the leading provider of spoken word content, with everything from bestsellers, celebrity memoirs, and news to podcasts. Yes, if you're into podcasts, and you're listening to us right now, so we can assume you do, Audible has got you covered. Just go to www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial today. That's www.audibletrial.com/3GD to get your free 30-day trial. You'll get 1 credit, 2 credits if you're already an Amazon Prime member. That's good for any premium selection titles you like, and they're yours to keep. You also get the Audible Plus catalog of podcasts, audiobooks, guided wellness, and Audible originals. Listen all you want. No credits needed. Again, that's www.audibletrial.com/3GD. $14.95 a month after your 30-day trial. Cancel at any time. Audible. Stay informed, connected, and inspired. And now, on with the show.
Warning, incoming dad joke. Warning, incoming dad joke.
All right, boys, listen up. A cop pulls a guy over and he's got a penguin in the back seat. The cop says, "Is that your penguin?" The man says, "Yes, it's my pet." The cop shakes his head and points down the street. "You need to take it to the zoo right now." So the man agrees and drives off. The next day, the cop sees the man again and pulls him over. He looks in the back and the penguin is there again and wearing sunglasses. The cop says, "I thought I told you to take that penguin to the zoo." The man says, "I did. Today we're going to the beach."
That was so long.
That was a lot.
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
It was like a pink nightmare.
Christmas has a Yule log. Not a log, I don't have a log, but it's...
All that I have, all that I've learned, everything I feel, all this and more I bequeath you, my son.
Your father was Frankenstein, and your mother was the lightning.
We named the dog Indiana.
I am your father.
Feel like I ran a marathon after that one.
Yeah.
Derek channeling his inner Uncle Milty.
That was a good one right there, Derek. Hello and welcome to another thrilling episode of Three Geeky Dads, the show that has all the listeners saying, what else we got?
Change the channel, Mark.
I am Mark, and with me, as always, are Tommy DeVito and Jimmy Conway to my Henry Hill.
Brian.
Tito.
And joining us, as always, well, actually, that's Tito right there. See, we don't have Derek tonight. Unfortunately, he had to cancel last minute due to family issues. He's okay. Everybody's okay.
We're fine. We're all fine here now. Thank you. How are you?
Good. All right.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
You're okay.
Good. So he will be back next week, but he did send in his notes and his thoughts for tonight's episode. So he will be here in spirit.
And that super long-ass joke.
And that super
That's
long-ass
super.
joke.
Good job, Derek.
Yeah,
Super.
he did that deliberately. So
I feel like
we
it was
wouldn't
a
smack him.
spiteful.
Yeah.
It was out of
So
spite.
my backpack's in his seat. You can all pretend this backpack is Derek. How's everybody doing, gentlemen?
Doing
How
good.
are we?
Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
Yeah?
It's Wednesday.
Everything going good? How's football going, Tito?
Football's going pretty good.
Yeah.
Pats won again.
Patriots, yeah,
The Pats
yeah.
won? Yeah.
Yeah, they won.
They won.
What are you gonna do?
I don't know. You want them to lose.
I like
Well-
to see them lose.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just want high draft picks.
Right.
exactly. That's what I was thinking too. And now they're pulling wins out of their ass
all
at
of
the
a
end of the
sudden they're
season.
winning.
It's some
Yeah.
promise. It's nice for the future.
It
This
is.
kid could be
Yeah,
good.
May.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
could
looking good.
Hey, this kid may have moxie, huh?
He's got,
As long as he stays
yeah.
healthy.
Yeah. You don't say anything.
I know. I don't want to curse him. I really
Don't do it. R.I.P.
I'm
Tony
knocking wood.
Todd.
I'm
by
knocking
the
wood
way.
right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
rest
Tony
in peace.
Todd.
Rest in
R.I.P.
peace, Tony Todd. Unfortunately, passed away a couple of days ago.
Yeah, last weekend.
Was it last week?
Yeah.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
we
like
had,
Saturday.
we had recently just praised him, and Candyman talked about him. So here's to
That's
you.
it. We gave him his flowers before he died.
That's right. We did. Not after.
We let everybody know what was up with Tony Todd.
We did. Tony Todd.
He deserved it. not to die, but
Oh, I was going
to get his flowers before he passed.
He got his
get some
props.
praise.
He got
Yeah,
his
for
props.
sure.
He got what
Yeah.
was coming.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I don't know what his personal life was like, but
Yeah, I
I don't
know.
think he should have.
That was a bummer, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Big Tony Todd fan.
Yeah.
Very, very quickly, favorite Tony Todd thing that you can think of?
Off the top of my
Off
head,
the
I'm
top
going
of
with
your
Kern
head.
because
Yeah,
I was going to
see?
say Kapla Kern.
Kern.
You know, he's finally made it to Stovall Kor, which is the Klingon Valhalla.
Oh, he played a Klingon.
He was
He did.
Worf's
He was Worf's brother. In Star Trek: The Next
interesting.
Generation.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's shown up in a couple of episodes as
Yeah.
Worf's brother, Kern, and he's very good in it.
He's
and that's
very good. He's
actually
good
one
in
of the-
everything.
How
God,
about you?
That's
dude?
tough, man.
Yeah.
I mean, not fucking Candyman.
Mm.
I did always like his appearance in Final Destination.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like him being used in that way because he just had this like very menacing way about him.
Always.
Through his characters.
Even when he barely said anything, like when he was
Yeah.
Top Dollar's right-hand man in
Oh,
The
he's
Crow.
awesome.
Yeah.
in it.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. So rest in peace, Tony Todd.
Yeah, you will be missed.
On a happier note, though, today is Tom Atkins' birthday.
Happy birthday, Tom
So happy
Atkins.
birthday, Tom
Sure you wanna
Atkins.
do that?
I'm surprised you're not wearing your Thrill Me t-shirt.
I
in
didn't
honor.
know until it was too late. I'm not saying anything else. I'm just saying happy birthday, Tom Atkins.
Okay.
That's all.
happy birthday,
Happy-
Tom
we can
Atkins,
say
and his
happy
mustache.
birthday.
He probably still has a mustache, right?
He does.
He does, and
Of
it's
course he does.
glorious.
And it's still fantastic.
Yeah, he look about the same, I assume.
Probably.
He's been like 72 for
Oh, yeah.
his entire life.
He's from the 70s, man. They've
Yeah.
always looked that way. Him and
Yeah.
Wilford Brimley
Yeah, and John Carpenter.
and John Carpenter.
So many
and Tom
mustache
Selleck.
rides.
No, not
Tom Selleck, yeah.
Not Tom Selleck.
Tom Selleck's got a mustache.
Sam Elliott, I think, has always looked 70.
Sam Elliott
Yeah.
has
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
I think it's
he's
got to do with people with gray mustaches.
It could
man.
be it. Like him, Wilford, Tom. They all
They should.
they all
form a
came out of the
band.
womb with a mustache, just old. Sam Elliott was just
Yeah.
like, where, here I am. Cut the cord, Mom.
I want to tell you the story about a man called the Dude.
Sioux City Sarsaparilla.
Somebody change my diaper, please.
Wyatt, what are we doing here in Deadwood?
There ain't no law in this town.
I am
Oh.
the law.
All right, let's not talk too much Sam Elliott.
Rest in peace,
either.
Sam Elliott.
That's it. You just did it. You just did it. Oh, you gangster. He goes to
Playing with fire there,
I'm
Tito.
not even going to talk to you.
It's your time, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah. We have nothing to
Let's
do
get
with
dark. Let's get dark
Yeah,
this
we
episode.
it. Really? Well, this is a dark episode, isn't it?
Well, the joke was funny.
The
Yeah,
joke was
yeah,
funny,
the
but
joke
I think
was
it's, I think it's going to
Yeah.
go
It is gonna
downhill
be,
from there.
It is. So, well, last week we stopped over at the Marvel Universe, and now we're heading over to see what DC has been up to. And man, were we surprised at what we found as we checked out the new Penguin series on Max. Damn, do we have a lot to say about this series. But before we dive into a world of gruesome guys and deadly dolls, our own gangster of gastronomic glorified goulash, Brian, has prepared a yummy appetizer to start us
That
off.
does not sound yummy.
It sounds very yummy. Gastronomic goulash.
I want 30 sliders, 5 French fries, and 4 large cherry cokes.
I want the same, except make mine Diet Cokes. Chuck.
Wow.
What's not appealing?
Let's keep the alliteration going and just say gross.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay.
And ghoulish.
Ghoulish.
A lot of good words with G. A lot of good words.
Good.
Good.
Great.
Good. Great. Wonderful. Everybody on? Good. Great. Wonderful.
Tonight, we're going to be taking a look at the HBO Max series The Penguin. The show stars Colin Ferrell as Oswald Cobb, continuing the story of the character he portrayed in 2022's The Batman. Colin Farrell is practically unrecognizable under all the prosthetics and makeup, but his performance certainly shines through, and that got us to thinking, maybe we should talk about some of our other favorite actors who got buried under a ton of makeup or prosthetics, to the point to where they, too, were hard to recognize.
All right. It's me.
That's
It's
you.
me this week.
It's you this week.
I'm going Tim Curry, legend.
Oh,
that's
I didn't
a
even
good
think of that one, and I
Me neither.
love that goddamn movie.
I did. You could never recognize
No.
Tim Curry
Nope.
at all.
It's
I
only-
sure as hell did not.
Only in the voice.
Innocence. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
What have we here? A little boy.
Boy. Oh, no, that's the tall man.
That's the tall man.
Yeah, for those who don't know what Legend is, Tim Curry is basically the devil. He's called Darkness, but he is known for these
For those who don't know, Mark,
extravagant
go listen to the
horns.
episode we did on Legend.
I could have done that too.
One of our fantasy Februarys
that's
from
right.
about 3
That's
years
right.
ago.
We'll get back to that at the end. Remind me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Write it
thank
in
you,
your notes.
Tito.
Write it in your notes.
Thanks.
He didn't.
Okay, so yeah, go back to the episode and then, see the movie. And then note, besides the extravagant horns, just the whole facial
very horny
features. He is extremely horny and unrecognizably horny.
Dude, he is horny.
He's very horny.
Mother Night,
He's trying to
fold
get down.
your
Oh, he
dark
is just-
arms about me.
So cool in that.
Where's
So
he hide
that's
his
mine.
dick?
That's
In your
mine.
That's a good one.
embrace.
Tim Curry is Legend.
That's a good one.
Brion.
So that's right. It's now to me. I'm going with Karen Gillian or Jillian as Nebula in Guardians of the Galaxy. I first discovered her as Amy Pond in Doctor Who, and she had long, luxurious red hair, which she shaved off herself for the first Guardians movie. In the sequels, they just put her in a bald cap.
Oh, okay.
But she actually shaved her head.
That's dedication.
That is dedication. Yeah. She was really into the part, and if you didn't know who it was, with all the makeup and the prosthetics that made her look like she's part machine, it's an awesome performance, and she's a great actress too. I've seen her in what's that horror movie Oculus? She was in that was pretty good.
Oh, I never saw that.
Yeah, that was pretty decent. I like that
Actually, I
one.
don't think I did.
Yeah,
I was thinking Starry Eye. Sorry.
that's mine. Nope.
Good pick.
Excuse me.
Tito.
I got a few. I'm going to Eddie Murphy in Coming to America. Saul, the older Jewish fellow in the barbershop.
That's one of my runners up.
I love Eddie Murphy, and I love that movie, and I love.
He plays
all
about
the
a dozen characters in that movie too. But Saul, I had two because that's like
it's tough. Like
he plays a little white Jewish guy.
Yeah, and he's fucking hysterical, and you can't necessarily tell unless you know. Where's the spoon?
Will you taste the soup?
Muhammad Ali. I love when he says that. Muhammad Ali.
That boy catches clay.
Man walked up, punched me in the chest. I said, Dr. King. Man, you ain't never met Martin Luther the King.
Martin Luther the
That's my favorite one. You ain't never met Martin Luther the King. But that's mine. It's one of my favorite movies. Comedy, at least. I
Great
love
stuff.
Eddie.
John
He's
Landis.
Fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That son of a bitch.
You just had to.
I was waiting for the rest of it. You
He's
killed
very
the guy,
good. No,
but-
I'm going to leave it at that.
No,
I think if they listen to our show, they should know by now
I would
what I'm
imagine.
implying.
But if they haven't,
He killed a bunch of people, including some children.
What I was going to say was go back and listen to it.
Oh, to find out what he did. Yeah. Don't Google it. Go listen to it.
Yeah, listen to it.
Listen to
That's
Tito rant over many, many episodes.
Yeah. They're like Easter eggs. You got to listen to them all, though, to find out which one I'm saying.
I like that.
We don't have the database up yet where we can like just plug in like what episode somebody said what and when and where.
Tito referenced John Landis killings. Episodes.
Yeah.
Remember the time Tito brought
season
polio
1,
back?
4, and 5.
It was brief, though. You know what? Everybody went. They got their shots. They're good.
Yeah, but you still brought it back.
That was a momentary lapse in
reason.
I still
society.
think you owe America an apology for that one.
No. Those idiots should have been doing the right thing.
Those
from the
idiots. Derek's pick. I am reading for Derek tonight. Derek's pick is Gary Oldman as Mason Verger in Hannibal.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and his face all jacked up.
His face is all. That's a good one.
That's
Good
the
pick.
dude who's it's a different actor in Silence of the Lambs, right? Is that different? The guy who gets his face eaten at the end, isn't it? Isn't the doctor who runs the hospital?
I
is that
just
the same
remember
actor?
this dude
Same
loved
character?
pigs in Hannibal. Is that the same
I
one?
never saw Hannibal. I always thought that was the same character, but
I
not
don't
the same
remember.
actor.
I haven't seen either in so
I thought he was
long.
going to say something else, but
Well,
I
he
realized
might-
he's never seen True Romance.
Oh, nice. That's a good one, too.
Gary Oldman has
Drexel.
always been a chameleon anyway. He
totally
looks
is.
totally different in everything that he does.
Truly an actor's actor.
I've been wanting to watch The Professional again, just to watch him.
Yeah.
He's very good.
He said, go back inside.
I watched that about 6 months ago.
Oh,
Great
love that
movie.
Runners up. I'm going to go, is it Richard Forsyth? Or John Forsyth? Whoever. Flat Top from Dick Tracy. It's one of-
William.
it's William Forsythe.
Forsythe,
Thank you,
yes.
from Devil's Rejects. There's a lot of Forsythes. Anyway, he's almost unrecognizable. Half the cast and Dick Tracy is almost unrecognizable
true.
in their makeup.
And he has a pretty gruff voice in real life, and he's got this kind of like weaselly kind of
It's
thing.
very
that he's
like
doing.
this. He almost sounds like Squiggy or something. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right. So I'll do that, and I'll do is it Cornelius? Roddy McDowell from Planet of the Apes.
Nice.
I think that's another good example.
Mm-hmm.
And so those would be my runners-up right there. How about you?
I've got quite a few.
Do it up.
I've got Charlize Theron as Eileen Wuornos
Monster?
in Monster.
Good.
I've got Emma Thompson as Nanny McPhee.
Oh, that's a good one.
Very
I've
good
got
one.
Eddie Murphy as everyone in Coming to America, but especially Saul. Lily James as Pamela Anderson in Pam and Tommy.
Oh, that's a good. Yeah, I didn't see that show, but
I loved her.
She
in
doesn't
that.
look anything like
Not
that
at
in real
all.
life.
If you want to see Lily James, a good example of what she really looks like is in the movie Yesterday. The movie that was it Dev
the
Patel
Beatles
did? The
movie.
Beatles movie
Yeah.
where the Beatles music disappears.
Yeah.
Robin Williams obviously as Mrs. Doubtfire. Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise the Clown.
Oh, that's a good one.
Tom Cruise as Les Grossman in Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And Doug Jones in Everything.
Very nice. Tito, runners up.
I have Donnie Wahlberg in The Sixth Sense.
Oh,
I didn't find out till like years later that
Shaved
was fucking Donnie
eyebrows.
Wahlberg.
That's right.
Yeah.
He was like about 75 pounds, too.
Yeah,
He
nuts.
looked
Donnie,
totally
New Kids
different.
Wahlberg.
Blew my mind.
Yeah.
And I went Drexel from True Romance.
You must have thought it was White Boy Day.
Yeah.
It ain't White Boy Day.
He said,
is
down here, he eat my chicken. I think he's cool. He's playing it cool. He's got that. It's hilarious.
Oh, God.
No one on earth talks like that.
No, but he
But
does.
Drexel does.
And you buy it.
Yeah.
You
it's
totally buy
believable.
it. Yeah.
Yep. Fucking hanging out with Sam Jackson and Lord Nikon.
That's right. Until he shoots him.
Yeah.
I ate the bud, I ate the pussy, I ate the whole thing. Great movie. Have you seen this? You still have
No,
You've
I've
never
never
seen
seen
True
it.
We
Romance
have got to
either?
watch this movie.
Holy
Wait,
smokes.
no, I did, but I haven't seen it since the 90s.
Oh, son of a bitch.
So, for all intents and purposes, I have not seen it
We
because
have
I don't
another-
remember
yeah,
most
that
of
is
it.
gonna
It's been a while.
It's been a while. It's been a while. Derek's runners-up. Derek's runners-up is Glenn Close as the Boo Box pirate in Hook.
Yep.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Charlize Theron as Aileen
Wuornos. Yep.
Tim Roth as Lord of Darkness. Tim Roth as Lord of Darkness.
Maybe he
No.
meant Tim
Did
Curry.
he mean
Yeah, I think you meant Tim Curry.
Right, I think he did.
Let's give him the benefit of
We'll
the
give
doubt.
him the benefit of the doubt. Mickey Rourke as Marv in Sin City. That is
that's a good one.
Yeah, he looks better as Marv than he does in real life. Eric
Yeah.
Stoltz in Mask. Hugo Weaving.
Oh, wow,
That was
yeah.
another one I was thinking.
Hugo Weaving as Red Skull. Gary Oldman as Winston Churchill in Darkest Hour.
So,
Oh my God, I cannot say this name. I'm not
Oh,
even
fun.
going to try.
Scott
But
Bakula?
he plays Killer Croc in the first Suicide Squad.
Oh,
movie.
it's Adebisi from Oz. His name is, Akinoye.
As Adewale.
Adewale. Yeah.
Yeah, you do it.
Let's do it.
Oh,
I
no.
lost it. Fix it for me.
Man, no.
I got Macrina hands all of a sudden.
Oh, no.
You're lucky I didn't just crush it in my hand.
Hey, little girl, can you go get me a
Agbaje?
new phone?
Akinoye Agbaje. I think I was going to say he's got three names. Adewale's Akinoye Agbaje.
Abkadefki Jekyllman, not course 2 Wix is.
God bless you.
Say
Well done.
Adebisi from Oz. Any Oz fans out
Very
there?
good.
Legend.
Well, anyway, he was Killer Croc in the first Suicide Squad.
Unrecognizable.
Yeah. So there you go.
Sweet.
You know who that guy is? Is the guy from the movie about the gorillas. What the fuck's that movie called?
Gorillas in the Mist?
Congo. He is that actor plays Ernie Hudson's like sidekick.
I have not seen that movie.
Well, you're
in
missing out because he
ages.
plays Ernie Hudson's
We need to,
sidekick.
after this, we're going to watch Congo.
Did you give it the banana with the dope inside?
So what movie
Amy,
were you thinking
want,
of?
raindrop, drink. That was sign language.
What movie were you thinking
Tickle
of earlier
me.
before I forget?
Tickle me. Gross. That's all I remember. Damn, Gorilla wanted to be tickled.
The one that you thought that he was going to pick with
Oh, it was the one I
Okay.
picked, which was Drexel from.
Okay.
All right.
When you said
'cause then
Gary,
you were
you
like-
said
Yeah,
Gary
Gary
Oldman.
Oldman.
I immediately went to Drexel.
Right.
Okay.
But he has not seen that yet.
He hasn't seen. Then I realized he hadn't seen it.
Well, we're just going to have to watch it again. All right. Excellent appetizers. Shall we get to the main course?
Let's do it. The main course.
The main
course.
That was very loud.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like it either.
Team escaping.
Aren't you gonna have something?
No, I had just such a big hamburger. That was really big. But we've never been at that place. It's really good.
What? Pimps?
Yeah, well, whatever.
Pimps?
Yeah, it's a funny name, but I don't remember.
Thank you. That's better. That's beautiful.
Is that History?
No, that was Blazing Saddles.
Blazing Saddles.
Yeah, that was when they break onto the movie set and all the gay guys are dancing around. Tom DeLuise is trying to direct them.
Yeah. Movie never would have worked today. Never would have been able to get away with it today. God, I love that movie though.
Mel Brooks he's a great guy.
He is.
I feel like
he is.
You know.
Let's not say any more
There's
about
no
him
malice.
either.
He's fucking like 100 years old. Dude.
Yeah.
Like if he died, it'd be like, all right, Mel Brooks.
Yeah,
he outlived everybody else who was ever in one of his films.
He's going.
He outlived them all.
This is it.
Yeah, but he lived to 100. So
Did he? Is everything?
He's close. He's very close.
Did he?
Bill
P.
Pullman's
Diddy?
still alive. Not Diddy. Diddy?
This is one of those shows, Mark.
Boy, Diddy is a great guy, isn't he? You know, we don't talk enough about Diddy.
Put that
do we?
baby
We did that joke
All
about
right,
2
okay.
weeks ago.
Put the baby oil.
Put the
Wasn't he?
baby,
It was
yeah.
like, Diddy
Push the
tripped over
lotion
his-
on its skin, or else it gets the hose.
Trafficking? No. And with that, here's the main chorus. When it comes to great villains, or rather a plethora of great villains, DC, at least in the past, has always seemed to have more that have transcended the comic books and made its way into public iconography. There are those who have never picked up a comic book in their lives, yet could still tell you a thing or two about the Joker, Lex Luthor, the Riddler, and Catwoman. And with the exception of Lex Luthor, these others all exist in the world of Batman, as what is arguably the best rogues gallery in any superhero story. And yet, with the exception of the big two, the Joker and Lex Luthor, these villains have only been mildly explored as characters. There's still much more to discover, and Matt Reeves does just that with The Penguin, the new hit series on Max that has been described as The Sopranos with a comic book villain in it. One could argue that the Penguin could fit in with the Joker and Luthor based on many past versions of the characters, but this series proves that the gangster still has much to offer in terms of a good story and a fresh take. With a remarkable cast portraying some great characters, an excellent story with plenty of twists and shocks that will resonate with viewers for sure, The Penguin continues Matt Reeves' The Batman movie, launching its own dark and gritty universe that has won over a lot of Batman fans, DC fans, heck, comic fans in general. Yet this show can easily appeal to those who may not be into superhero comics at all. And the same could be said for this new and growing Batman universe. With one hit movie and now a hit series, Reeves' Batman universe is just getting started. More spin-offs are in talks, and a second Batman movie is on the way. Who knows what's in store for us? What we can assume, if the Penguin is any indication, is that these characters we thought we knew have plenty of surprises left for us. Opening thoughts. That will start with me. This is one of the best TV shows I have seen in a long time. It is an amazing show. Everything about this show works for me. The cast is incredible. Colin Ferrell, I'm not the first to say it. I won't be the last. He should get the Emmy for Best Actor. He is phenomenal as the Penguin. And he's just backed up by a great supporting cast. I love the story arc. I love a villain story done right. By that meaning just when you think it's going to be another anti-hero or a sympathetic villain that you start rooting for, it takes a hard left turn and you realize, oh, right, he's a villain. We hate him. This is why. Very well written, very well directed. I want more. So that's mine.
Well, you can't have more.
Well, how do you know?
I thought the show was intense. It was really gritty. Showed the grimy, crime-ridden underbelly of Gotham City like I don't think any live-action Batman series that I can think of has shown. I've said it before. Until very recently, I was never a huge fan of Colin Farrell. But his roles over the past decade or so, starting with his self-depreciating turn in Horrible Bosses, I didn't see in Bruges until years later because that one came before, but I have seen it, and that is also awesome. All the way up to his role as the coach in Guy Ritchie's The Gentleman movie, which we talked about recently. He's totally won me over, and his performance, particularly unrecognizable under a ton of makeup, was unbelievable. He actually had me rooting for the bad guy, and I don't usually root for the bad guy. in a series filled with nothing but bad guys. And you're right, Mark. You won't be the first, or you won't be the last to say it. If he and the actress who played Sophia, I can't remember her name.
Kristen Milioti.
Thank you. If they don't win an Emmy and the entire show doesn't win a ton of Emmys, that would be the biggest crime of all.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, I mean, limited series, whatever they canned out for stuff like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, the entire cast. I don't watch many other things, but I like this show. I like it a lot. I have a friend. She's a really hard person to judge what she'd like. Not into comic books at all, but big fan of the first Joker film. So we talk about that all the time. And she absolutely loves this show. So it's clear that it's reaching a mass audience of people who don't necessarily know or care for comic books, but enjoy good story and enjoy quality. And the show is quality. It's a phenomenal series. Colin Farrell. Martin McDonagh, I like that director a lot. I like his films In Bruges, The Banshees of Inisherin.
Yep.
Colin Farrell's in both of those. Seven Psychopaths. Colin Farrell's in that.
Oh, he did that one too?
Yeah.
That's another one I liked.
Yeah, that was kind of around the time when I started to kind of
Gravitate
realize that Colin Farrell was
Same with
a
me,
good
Tito.
actor.
Same with me.
And I like Colin Farrell. He was a good, kind of leading man, SWAT action kind of guy, handsome.
Yeah.
But you don't think too much about his ability to act. And when he gets cast in those films, and I was like, oh, he's good. And then he got cast in Batman, and I was like, oh, that could be cool. There's got to be a reason for it.
Yeah.
Because you don't cast a dude who looks like Colin Farrell to be fucking the Penguin.
Yeah.
Unless you know something that the rest of us don't know, that he's going to fucking do something amazing.
Right.
And he does, and he's fantastic in that film. He's one of the highlights of that movie. And the show, he is just absolutely phenomenal. Kristen Milioti, who does Sophia, is fantastic. Deidre O'Connell, who plays his mother, is...
Oh, she's great.
Man, she
is
is
great.
so good, and she gets better every episode.
She really does.
Just phenomenal. And these characters are not just fill-in. They're well fleshed out and very empathetic. Everyone, even including Oz, I think it's just this really empathetic character. I like I like to root for people. That's why I read comic books. That's why I watch action movies, and I like these kinds of things. I like Victor. I think he gets lost a little bit in the talent that is everyone around him.
Yeah.
He's still, I think, pretty good. And a good, like, the audience, he's that character that we all kind of live through Victor and experience this world through him because he's new to it. We're new to it. But yeah, phenomenal. Great show.
Nice. Derek's opening thoughts. A Tale of a Monster. If you had told me several years ago that one day there was going to be a show about the Penguin and it was going to be one of the most gripping shows I'd ever watched, I would have thought you were crazy. I've always been a fan of gangster-style Penguin. The Arkham game series has been my favorite, and this comes about as close as I think I'll ever get to that version. She a version? That version. Not only is the acting, writing, and directing killer for this entire series, it is also chock full of awesome Easter eggs connecting to the comics and to the former media adaptations, including the original series, the Burtonverse, and the animated series. All these little name drops, the gangs, the locations, and on top of everything, it proves that you can have a Batman-related show without Batman, and it can still be incredible. I agree with that, and I was surprised by that, too. Which doesn't surprise me, since I have always said I think the world of Gotham and the supporting characters are the real draw for me when it comes to Batman. My only real hardcore critique is of the idea to change the name. Cobblepot isn't a name that makes you think, oh, this is fake. So I think the fact that the reasoning behind changing it to Cobb was to make it realistic is bullshit, and I'd rather them just leave names of characters alone, regardless of any oddity with the names.
You know, it's funny because I feel similarly. Like Oz Cobb kind of gets stuck in your throat.
I mean,
like it feels unfinished.
Do you think now he will change it to Oswald Cobblepot giving his status and where he is?
Oh, so that's where it goes. I like
feel
that
like
idea.
This whole thing has been Penguin before Penguin. I feel like the Batman was Batman before Batman. You know, they're starting from the beginning, but rather than showing the elaborate origin like they always do, it's just they're there. They just haven't reached their full potential yet.
Yeah.
So maybe that might.
That's possible. If that's where it goes based on how the series ended, then yeah, I kind of like that idea. But it does every time he's just Oz to me. I don't even think about his last name because it just stops. It for someone who knows the character, it's incomplete.
Yeah.
When I'm Oz Cobb, it just doesn't work for me.
No, Oz Cobb does not work.
But just Oz is fine.
Yeah.
He's Oz. He's out there.
That's a nickname for Oswald.
Yeah.
It bothered me at first, but again, everything else about the show was so good, I let it slide.
Yeah.
Just like you had talked about, giant explosions, Batman's nowhere to be found, something that would bug me normally. It doesn't. And I think it's because in that film and in this show, everything just is starting out. And when it's in the beginning phases of these characters not necessarily doing what you would expect them to do, that's different to me than, say, something of like Birds of Prey, where it exists in a world where Batman is polished and out there and with the Justice League, and he's not doing anything and not even mentioned once, that doesn't work for me. But something along the lines of a year one kind of thing. Well, where is Batman? Well, he could be anywhere. We don't know what he's doing because he doesn't know what he's doing yet. So I kind of let that slide more.
Yeah.
So that's just me, though.
Yeah, I think because of how grand the show is, or how grand it becomes, like it starts out as this kind of small thing where these people are like fighting for power. So it's self-contained. But when it really starts to spill out in the streets and collapse subway tunnels and all that shit, I'm like, I need to see somebody.
Yeah.
Even if it's not Batman, I need to see somebody. And I understand like the politicians and the cops in Gotham are just as crooked as the criminals, but there's a few in there who aren't. So I like the comparison of The Sopranos because it does have this like empathetic character, like Tony Soprano-esque character.
Right.
But I wish it was a little more like The Wire because you get to see both sides. You get to see the criminals and you get to see the police.
Yeah.
I would have been cool with like a homicide or Law and Order type. Like, what's Montoya doing? What's fucking Bullet?
Almost like a procedural?
Yeah,
well,
Bullet.
where's Commissioner Gordon?
Splitting the time. Right. Where's Gordon?
I would have liked to have seen Jeffrey Wright pop up.
Yeah, for sure. I would have been happy with that if like, oh, fuck, what's going on?
Right.
Commissioner Gordon pops up and he's like, oh, fuck, we could use Batman right now. And that explains everything for me. Then,
so the only way I justify that to myself to accept it, I'm not making an excuse, that's just how I deal with it, is that, again, the city is so chaotic right now, and Batman's still kind of like a neighborhood hero. He's, he could be wrapping shit up on the other side of town.
Right.
Probably hasn't even gotten over to the project.
That's what I was going to say, too. He can't be
so
everywhere.
removed from the city. Yeah, exactly.
You do too much. You're not Superman,
You look at where this... the location for where the explosion is. It's clear. It's across town. The city's across the river or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
that's another reason why I really like.
He's Batman, not Superman. He can't be everywhere at once.
Right.
Well, it's the reason that I like the show, and similar to White Knight, which you read White Knight, which is
so good.
One of my favorite stories. It really actually makes me dislike Batman so much. This show actually makes me dislike Batman because he can't get to that side of town yet, and that's where all the biggest problems are. In that side of town, like people just lost everything because of that flood.
But again, it's still year one Batman.
Yeah, and he's still the richest man on the planet.
Right.
And completely obsessed with Gotham.
Exactly.
It's the only thing he thinks about all day long.
But in the Batman, he's
Except
not
for the
thinking
people that
about
he's
being
affected
rich.
by.
But if you remember in the Batman, he has no idea how to be. He has no clue. He's so messed up still from the death of his parents. He has not been able to balance Bruce Wayne or Batman. He can't get his own life together.
No, I mean, that's nice to be that rich.
I don't think being rich... Well, maybe. Maybe it does, I guess. You got your butler
nice
doing everything.
But it makes me like Cobb that much more.
Yeah.
It makes me like Oz that much more.
For a while.
Yeah, right up. It takes right up until the very end because as self-serving as all the shit he does is, he's somehow kind of doing good fucking shit in Crown Point.
And I got to tell you,
power back.
That was worrying me for a bit.
He finds them jobs.
Yep.
Like they're selling drugs.
Cobb,
man of the people.
Yeah.
He's got this almost kind of father-son thing going with Vic almost, or older brother. And by the way, spoilers, folks, if you haven't guessed by now, we're going to spoil the shit out of this show.
As we do with everything.
But when you get to those last two episodes, see, when Sarah was on board feeling bad for him until he kills his brothers, and then he hated him. She hated him, excuse me. She hated young Oz there.
Yeah.
And then the last episode sealed the deal. But it had to be that way. It just had to, because the Penguin is a bad guy. He's not a good guy. He's not an anti-hero. He is a villain.
Yeah.
And too many of these shows have turned villains into anti-heroes. I've ranted about it before. It has driven me nuts. This show does not do that. I was a little worried it was going to for a while. And then the last couple episodes just gave me exactly what I wanted. It's like, nope, you loathe this guy at the end because you need to.
I think I think perspective plays a lot, because for the character of Oz, for me, and especially the kind of shit that I like to watch, he has this like, the drug dealer helps the community, even though the drug dealer is also killing the community.
Yeah.
Right. So the people that live in the people in Crown Point love him and respect him because the lights came back on, but he's actually killing them at the same time. And they see as this guy's actually taking an interest in where we live, where the rest of the city could care less.
Right.
So I think they did a really phenomenal job.
Right.
Getting you all the way up to the point where it was just like the friend that I have who watched the show was like, oh my God, he's the worst. And I was like, yeah, he's a fucking bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what they do. Fucked up shit. Even when they don't need to.
No.
Yeah, even when they don't need to.
But I mean, his first vile act is when he's a kid. His first vile act is even before he's the Penguin, before he's the supervillain. He's a fucked up kid. You know.
Oh, for sure.
With a huge Freudian complex.
The way his brothers die is very like, they hurt his feelings, so he closed the door and he walked away, and then he got to the point where it was too late. I almost feel like, I don't know that I could lock any of my siblings in a fucking thing and leave them there. But
to drown.
If I was that kid, I would absolutely get to the point where I was like, I can't say anything ever to anyone. I did something really terrible. He knows. He knows exactly what he did.
Then he goes home. He watches the movie with his mom. They're all cuddled
and then it's
up.
like, damn, it's fucking late, and I definitely can't tell her now because she will potentially try and kill me.
Right.
So good. Such great writing. I mean, it's I think I said this last week, and I'll say it again. You know, like Marvel, puts out shows all the time, and they usually exist for me on different degrees of good to you know, but you're almost going to be overall entertained at something, whereas like with DC, they either hit it out of the park or they just flop it. There's no in
with
between.
Their series, I think, you know, with the Arrowverse stuff, I thought was really, really good.
For a while they had
but it runs its course. It goes on for a little bit too long.
Right.
You can't do fucking 15 seasons.
No.
Of these
5 would have been
shows.
fine.
Yeah.
Right. It just goes to a point. Like the first couple of seasons of Arrow, I was like so invested. I was like, they're playing with time and bouncing in and out of the island.
Yeah.
Their animated films, their animated series are always really, really on point.
Well, the animated films have, with a few exceptions, have always been good.
The shows they make, the animated shows they make, are really, really good. So I'm not so surprised that they were, especially with HBO, that they were able to kind of knock it out of the park with this one.
Yeah.
And they got good bones from that fucking Batman movie.
They really did.
Very good.
That's a great starting point. And it's just now there's a new universe being developed, and I really it's realistic, but it still keeps the heart of a comic book story and feel to it, so that people who don't necessarily like comic books can gravitate to it. They can, it's real enough for them.
It's a crime drama.
It is, but it keeps the element of fantasy that keeps, that we comic book, obsessies love, which has always been my criticism about the Nolan movies, that they're too real, and any kind of fantastic element to it is just kind of tossed aside. So it's 100% real, and it may be a great movie, but they're not. You take one or two characters out of them, there's really nothing there. I mean, Matt Reeves' movies, I think, and not everybody will agree, but I think between this show and the Batman, there's something for everybody in this movie. All of these characters work. They're very interesting.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, the Batman is a fucking psychological thriller. It's Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah.
It's just, he's dressed like Batman. If you take him out of the costume and he's just trying to solve a crime, it's still a really fucking good movie.
It is.
It just is. he made him Batman.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Categories?
Categories.
Here we go. I have mine right here.
That parchment.
My parchment.
Unroll the scroll.
My deed to the house. So my favorite episodes actually, ironically, have very little penguin in them. It's their Sophia episode. Sophia and Arkham is a fantastic episode.
Yeah.
And Sophia killing the family.
Mm-hmm.
Gassing the whole Falcone family.
Yeah.
Those are two very powerful episodes. And I'll throw the end in there. The last episode for me is one of the best because that ending resonates with you. Whether you liked it, whether you didn't like it, whether you thought it was a good idea that he killed Vic or didn't, people are talking about it. That's an ending that leaves you with something. It wasn't a ho-hum kind of ending. It wasn't a Dexter drives into a giant wave or The Sopranos cutting to black. I mean, this had an ending. Whether you liked it or not, fine, but it had an ending people were talking about.
Yeah.
So I would probably go with that.
That's fair.
Nice. Yeah, I'm along the same lines, Mark. I thought they were all great, but if I had to pick a favorite, I would have to be episode 4. I think it was called Centani, which was the flashback episode that showed Sophia being betrayed by her father and sent to Arkham Asylum for about 10 years or so. How she survived and how it turned her into the ruthless, ambitious Gigante. Gigante.
I'm so glad she took that name right out of Long Halloween.
Yeah, she's one of those characters that I hope that she comes back stronger.
Sure
I kind of want to see her. I know it's Oz's show, but I kind of want to see her win, right? Because she is very sympathetic, and she started.
She
out
kind of
as
stole the show.
Absolutely.
Like we talked about, like Patty LuPone last week, like stealing, or
Agatha.
All the good scenes.
Yeah, and I think she did the same thing. Sophia did in The Penguin.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody was expecting her to be as good as
she was.
I was not familiar with anybody in this show except
Same.
for the guy who plays Victor was in Runaways and
right. Yeah, we talked about that too.
And something else that I saw recently, and besides Oz, and friend of the show Clancy Brown. But yeah, she's a fucking force in this show, and very sympathetic. She is just a rich kid who kind of gets fucked over by her family, and then turns into this fucking sociopath. Which is really, she just fucking nails it. She knocks it right out of the park, and you can see the gradual evolution of her fucking just going full on.
But the balance that they have between Sophia and Oz, it never stops being the Penguin show for me.
Yeah.
They just, it doesn't turn into the Sophia Falcone show.
Yeah.
I mean, I could watch it, but I really, I really like the fact that they were able to keep you invested in these two crime heavies equally.
I mean, dude, it almost turned, I think for some people it may have, and it borderline almost does. She damn near steals this thing.
She does. Yeah. She does.
And he's so good. And he was so good in Batman, and he's so good in these first few episodes. When she really starts to hit, she's fucking hitting.
But if you're a fan of the Long Halloween, Dark Victory, or the Gangsters, like I am, I need to see her lose at the end only because I relate her to the character in the comics. And because of that, there's an arc that I want her to have, and she has to have the arc that she has. That's why I was happy with it. Otherwise, I agree.
It's tough for a specific episode, but I do like Bliss. So that's episode 3. Oz, I really like that Oz and Sophia team up for a short period of time.
Yeah, same.
And you think this could be kind of cool. And it is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because they're using each other to get what they want.
Right.
And then it just kind of blows up in his face, which...
Yeah.
So something that bothers me a little bit in this show is there's too much, at a certain point, Deus Ex Machina. All of a sudden, they're going to die. Vic crashes his car into this person.
Yeah,
Oz.
okay.
He gets the strength of 10 men. He frees himself. He saves his mother. He dodges bullets. There's towards the end, it's too much. But in the beginning, it's all Oz playing everyone against everyone else.
Right, and trying to outthink his way
out
of a situation.
No time. It's so high intensity. The entire show is right off the jump. He kills Alberto. And now he's got to figure out what the fuck to do. And that's all he's doing the entire series is trying to get from point to point to point without getting killed while taking over the city. And there are just a couple of scenes too many where it's just oh, how does he get out of this one? Oh, we'll have Victor drive into these people with the fucking purple car. Where it loses a little bit, but I'm talking about my favorite shit, so I don't know how I got into that. But I also really like seeing Victor's family and seeing what happened to them, and it really gives some perspective to what happens in the Batman and that fucking tidal wave and just wiping his whole family out. And Victor also having the opportunity to leave, refusing to leave and go with his girlfriend and stay with Oz. One, because he's terrified, but two, because he kind of looks up to him and he sees a future for himself, which he didn't see for himself before this.
Which he does not get.
He
ultimately makes the wrong move.
Yeah.
And
but he stays himself.
I think that's why it's not justified, but I kind of got past Vic getting killed. I was like, well, you had your chance, dude. You should have left.
Yeah.
You know, these are bad people. This is Gotham City.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure. I just when all you have left is, I don't know. That's a storyline, again, if it ever got to a certain point, because Vic was clearly smart enough to notice that the seconds in command wanted a shot too,
right?
And bring that to Oz, which allows Oz to then kind of rally all these guys to his side. I would have liked at some point to have seen maybe where that connection goes, where people are loyal to Victor, who Victor turns into.
Yeah.
Is he worse than Oz?
Yeah.
You know, or does he stay himself, right? Because you're seeing that evolution of him.
For a minute, I thought we were going to get like the Andy Garcia Godfather 3 sort of arc for him, you know? Or I thought for a minute, I thought Penguin was going to let him go. It's like, you know, and then I'm like, oh, no, he's going to kill him.
Yeah.
Look at how they're drawing this out.
And you're right. It creates conversation. I didn't like it, but I understand that it did make for good television, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's probably my favorite episode.
I want to mention back at the Arkham one real quick. One of the most creepy things in that show is when that inmate starts slowly walking towards Sophia.
Yeah.
And she's asking Magpie, why isn't she chained up? And the way the inmate is walking and staring her down, targeting her, I just found that moment very creepy.
Same.
It's like, oh, God, I don't know who she is. I don't think she was if she was a villain or something like that. I don't know who.
I didn't either.
I just thought it was just some, nut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some psychopath. But that's
Which
a creepy moment.
It's very cool and very cool that they're exploring Arkham in that way.
Once again, Magpie dies. And every, there's been a couple of Magpie references in other DC books and movies, and she always goes right away. It's like she's such a ridiculous villain. People like to kill Magpie or joke about Magpie.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about Magpie.
I do.
Okay.
She's a joke.
All right then.
Derek's favorite episode. I can't remember that. Here we go. The backstory of Sophia going from a relatively innocent daughter of a mobster to the vengeful Sophia Gigante after a stint in Arkham is a tour de force by Christina Milioti. Anyone who had doubts about casting the mom from How I Met Your Mother would be swayed by this episode. The finale is also amazing. Never seen a season of a show get wrapped up so neatly and satisfying.
Is she in that? I never saw that show ever.
I've never, me either.
I've
never either.
Neil Patrick Harris is in it. I know that.
I know too.
That was his comeback story.
Yeah.
And so was the the one that played Maria Hill, I think is
Oh,
in it too.
yeah, Colby Smulders.
Colby.
I just remember Robin Sparkles. That's all. It's what's her name from Avengers.
Is that a real name?
No, she was.
That's Colby Smulders. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Maria
All right.
Hill. Yeah.
Colby Smulders. Her. Robin Sparkle. There you go. I agree with both of those. By the way, I love that ending. I do. Least favorite episode. I had a hard time with this one. I love them all. So I'm reading Derek's and I'm just going to agree with him because I think it's good. Probably the first one. I mean, the first one's a great episode, but it just gets better for me. So it's probably the weakest for me because it's starting out and you don't know everything yet. And once you know everything else, the first episode's kind of tame.
It's the weakest yet also the strongest because everything is built upon it.
Right. It's an awesome episode, but all the other episodes just get better for me.
Yeah, it definitely gets better every single week.
Very true.
I don't know that I have probably like Derek, but I like the first episode a lot. And I mentioned some of this stuff earlier as far as like, those kind of like easy fixes to some of the story that's not episode specific. But really that last 10 to 15 minutes of the show, it just felt like it went so far left so fast.
Really?
That there's all this buildup, and I understand he wants to be the king of Gotham, but then it's just like, then he kills Vic. And I understand that he's desperate for the approval of his mother, but all of a sudden he's dancing with the woman dressed like his mom, and you're like, oh, they're going to have sex? That's disgusting. And it just turns into this just like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Where did all this come from?
So the Freudian kind of aspect thing.
That like Oedipal complex, full circle, like, oh, now this chick's dress, she's wearing the same dress his mother wore when night she was going to kill him.
Yeah. She hired that guy Rex.
Yeah, and they're dancing, and I'm like, oh, they're gonna have sex later. That's gross. Is he gonna make his mom watch?
What are you doing, step bro?
It got too.
But are they going to have sex? I mean, we don't know. They're just dancing. It could be assumed.
That's his girl. They're gonna fucking have sex. They've been having sex. That's why I hurt his feelings when she was like, no, thank you. I'm not going with you.
He puts the ugly in bumping uglies.
I really want to know, and my friend mentioned this, I really want to know how he got his scars.
Yeah. I thought they were going to
I thought that's what that backstory would be. And
Right?
then my friend said something that I thought was really kind of fucking cool.
They weren't from the Batmobile crash. Did he have those
No, he's already got them.
He had them before Batman flips over the car?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I thought that...
No, he has the scars to start that movie off.
Okay, then.
My friend suggested that when the mom hired Rex to kill him, he was like kind of into it when she decided to stop him.
Okay.
And I thought, oh, that's kind of a cool idea. It would have been cool if they showed it. Like,
true.
That's when she decided to stop. After a while, she was like, oh, no, maybe I don't want to fucking kill my kid.
Yeah.
But by then, he had already been slicing up his face or whatever.
Yeah.
I wanted to see that. But yeah,
that's so fucked up, though, too, because, I mean, I get why she wants to kill Oz because he killed his two brothers.
Yeah.
But then if she kills him, she's got nothing. She has
There's
boys.
nobody.
Right.
No boys.
Right.
So, yeah, I can see that why she would maybe stop Rex if he had started hacking on his face like that. It's like, no.
Yeah, because
Stop it. That's my boy. That's my baby.
Even that fucked up kid is still better than nobody.
Right.
Her husband left. Her two of her kids are dead.
Yeah. Brian
She's
said
got
she
nothing.
has nothing.
Yeah.
She's
Well, I
got
guess she
nothing,
had, maybe
for
Rex
sure.
could have helped her out. But
Yeah, but I don't think Rex is
but in what
interested in her.
capacity?
I don't know if that,
But for only so long.
Right.
Which is great that Rex is the guy that Oz from episode 1 is the one bragging about to Alberto. Like, there was a guy in my neighborhood who everybody loved.
Yeah, when
that's
he died,
who I
they
want
had
to
a
be.
parade for him.
Yeah, right. And that was
to
the
be
guy that was gonna
remembered
kill
like
me.
that.
Yeah.
Oh man,
he was going to kill me for my mother.
Yeah, I know.
I liked it because it is definitely out of left field, and I could see why it would be a what the fuck kind of thing. But I don't know if it was done intentionally, but it reminded me of James Cagney in White Heat. Because even though it's not as detailed and not as taboo, James Cagney does have this relationship with his mom. Like, the mom's the only person in his life. He's winning her approval, which is why...
Oh, is this a Top of the World mom
Made it
movie?
top of the
right.
world.
I've never seen it, but I know that.
Okay. I
know
always
the
thought the
story.
whole thing was a nod to White Heat. And that's why I think I enjoyed it, because I related it. Because White Heat is like James Cagney's last, like, hurrah as the gangster. He's older now. And it's one of his most brutal films. And the whole mother-son thing is... That's just, I immediately thought of that movie, and then I thought, this has to be, it's got to be an homage. And if it is, then that's great.
Good call.
So that's why it worked for me.
Yeah.
The whole Made It Ma, Top of the World.
Yeah.
Oh my God, he's fucking James Cagney.
Yeah, they're in the penthouse finally.
Yeah.
They're moving on up to the east side.
Except he dies, though.
Gonna have that piece
in
of
the
the
movie.
pie.
Spoiler. Actually, I believe he goes. I think he might go out Scarface style. Now that
okay.
Not positive on that, but
Yeah,
anyway,
my little friend.
Yeah.
It just it kind of brought it to as realistic at this show as the show is. Brought it to like a comic booky thing that I was like not expecting. It was like, oh, they've gone full comic book. He's wearing tails. He's got his top hat.
Yeah.
He's fucking his mom.
Ew, gross.
Like, this shit is weird. And I get that they had this super codependent relationship, but I just didn't get that, like, over the fucking top feel from Oz.
Yeah.
Like, the approval aspect, yes. him wanting to possess her. And even
I
they would
didn't-
dance and stuff, but I never felt like that's where he wanted
It's
to go.
almost like he regresses to childhood once this whole thing happens.
Yeah.
Once she goes into a stroke, this is when he goes back to the childhood. Come on, Ma, let's dance. Come on, I just want me and my mom. Yeah, it's definitely Freudian or edible. But I don't know if it's like, yeah, maybe because he does have the prostitute dress as the mom, but I don't know. It's like this weird Norman Bates kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I think it's because he's the Penguin, but he's also got something screwier in his head.
Oh yeah,
this
no.
whole thing.
He's definitely the ultimate mama's boy.
Yes.
You know, he just wants,
which he never really was before.
No, but I like where this went.
I did too. Yeah.
And it was a cool facet of the character in this show. He just wanted her approval. He just wanted her love, and he wanted it all to himself. And nobody else could have his mom but him.
Yeah.
And it was just, he was so obsessive and he was so possessive, and I loved it. I thought he was great. I love that dynamic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it gets so weird for me. The end, honestly, he's a villain, yes.
Yeah.
It really seems so out of character. Everything at the end seems so out of character.
Yeah, it did a little, and I agree with you, Tito.
Just a little too. If by like season 3 he got there, then I'd be like, okay, this dude went fucking nuts. But like,
so the psychosis came on too quick.
It just felt like too fast.
Yeah.
Like you went from Vic being the only person on earth you would trust, the person you love more than anything. You kill this dude. Victor would have stood at the top of that tower and taken care of your mother for the rest of her life. Right? I don't know that he needed to kill him. It just seems so forced to me. And then the shit with like him going like full on, dressed like my mom. And I was just like, what the fuck's going on here?
But did you notice too that for as much as he loved his mom, he even fucked her over in the end too?
Oh, he was going to let her get her finger fucking cut off. Absolutely.
No. even worse than that. Like, yes, she got the penthouse that she always wanted, but she doesn't realize that she's there.
Yeah.
But you remember, like, a few episodes before that when she was having her bouts of dementia.
Yeah.
And she says, if I ever get to that point where you take care, you kill me. And he didn't.
That's fucking right. I forgot all about that.
He didn't.
Oh, wow.
He fucking chickened out, or he did it on purpose. I don't know. But he fucked her over. He left her in that vegetative state in that penthouse, which looked like a prison. Because I even looked at the walls behind it.
Yeah.
It looked unfinished, but like some of the walls looked like they were padded, and the window looked like they had bars on them. I'm like, he's got her. He's got her. You know, she's eternally his now, and I like the symbolism of it. But he totally fucked her over.
He did. But if you remember, there's the part where she finally admits to him when they're both tied up and Sophia's torturing them that she always knew he killed him. She always hated him. And I think that started things going, and then she has the stroke. And I think the last 2 episodes or so, Penguin just loses it.
Oh, yeah.
And he's able to regain what he has because he's able to dummy up at the end and have it so that the triads are able to join him. And that's a great scene, by the way.
Yeah.
You think, this is one of those Penguin gets out of situations that I liked.
Yeah,
because he's smiling and you have no idea what's going on because it happens off camera, but he actually kept the triad's loyalty.
Yeah, he gets linked to join up.
Right.
Vic's
and
like,
he's
I think this dude
smiling,
wants
and
to...
Sophia doesn't know why. And then
and you can see it because the kid, he kind of saves Vic. He punches him in the stomach, and he's like, "Shut your fucking mouth," basically, like, and saves his life. And that's when Vic has these guys actually like what we're doing.
Yeah,
they might join up with us. That flip at the end, I thought was badass. I really did. I thought that was good. Badass.
And again, I think killing Vic was all. I don't necessarily think he was thinking clearly. He's like, he had such emotion for his mom, and then his mom basically turns on him, says all those nasty things to him, then has a stroke, so he can't get his say in. He can't show her that she was wrong. So of course he's going to snap. He's never going to want to love anybody again, hence why he kills Vic. He can't show weakness, which he says to him, but I think he's talking about this is all Norman Bates, psycho stuff.
It is.
So we got the Penguin, we got the top hat, did he have the umbrella? No, he probably didn't.
No, just
the coat
tuxedo
and the
with
hat
the tails,
and the tuxedo. But there's still something else going on there. And that's probably left that way so you could get a season 2 or more from the character if need be.
Oh, dude, I hope so. I mean,
Yeah,
he's going to be in the next film.
But you're not wrong. I mean, it is totally out of left field. And I could see why.
For me at least.
Yeah.
And I like Victor. I like the character. I like the character that is kind of in the world and that's you, the viewer. That's me. I'm Victor, and I'm watching
I did
the show,
too, but
and we're just kind of like trying to hold on.
But I'm glad he killed him.
Yeah.
I had nothing against him. I thought Victor was a great character, and I was sorry to see him go.
Well, you get that full circle
but I
villain
wasn't.
moment.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's like, this is how you write a villain.
Yeah.
You can't like these guys.
Hannibal Lecter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
100%. Yeah, for sure.
Brian.
Yes.
We skipped over you. Sorry, man. Least favorite episode.
I didn't have one. So no, it was fine. I really didn't. I even wrote it here. I don't have a least favorite episode.
All right.
So I will piggyback on you guys saying that. Yeah, if number 1 is the weakest, it's only because they get better from there.
Okay.
And there you
Fair
go.
enough. It was hard to find anything.
I really did. I tried to think back. I'm like, there was not one bad episode.
No.
There was not one where I found myself on my phone or getting up to do this and that while it's and I'm watching it with one, or hopping on the the laptop and watching it with one eye, you know, waiting for something to happen. None of that happened in this entire run of 8 episodes. Fantastic series.
Best character or Derek's. Sorry, Derek. This is new to me. Derek's least favorite episode. I like them all. They just got better and better. So if I had to rank one last, I'd say episode 1 on that fact alone.
Yeah.
And I stole his.
So you did read it.
Yeah.
Because you
so
stole
I guess
it
I
early.
did read
Yeah,
it.
you did.
Okay.
You read that.
So there we go. All right, next category. Best character or characters. Sophia Gigante, for sure. And the Penguin are the driving force of this show. Everybody's good. Vic is great in it. The mom's great in it. The supporting cast is awesome. I really kind of wished we could have seen Clancy Brown do a little more as Sal Maroni. He did enough. I was kind of...
Oh, that was the other thing that
kind of
bothered
bummed
me.
that
It
he
was just
was done. Yeah.
How's he going to beat Sal Maroni?
Yeah.
He's not. He's going to beat himself. He's going to have a fucking heart attack. Dude. It's like, come on.
That was, if I had a weak moment in that show, I was kind of disappointed with that.
Yeah.
Clancy Brown's such a powerhouse as that character. They could have done a lot more, but you're pressed for time, I guess. But yeah, those are my 2 favorite characters. Obviously, it's pretty on point. But
yeah, how do you?
Brian,
I'm going with the same. There was not one bad character. I mean, I was like we were just saying a little bit earlier, I was really gravitating towards Victor. He was the one that we identify with. He's the one that pulls you into this underworld, and we're along the ride with him. So he was great. But I mean, Colin Farrell is the Penguin. He's unparalleled. And Sophia, Kristen
Mialotti.
Thank you. I keep forgetting her name. She just stole the show. She was fantastic. But like you said,
Milioti.
Milioti. Milioti. Everybody else from Clancy Brown to Shori Aglashu to my girl to Theo Rossi was Dr. Julian
Dr.
Rush,
yeah.
who I recognized his voice, but not him. It took me a second. He was Shades.
Yeah.
In the Luke Cage series.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Does he pop up in an episode of Daredevil? Maybe
he might. Yeah.
Maybe the second season.
Yeah. So no, everybody was perfect. I love this series. I'm gonna watch it again.
Yeah,
it's definitely worth another once through. Yeah, it's tough. Colin Farrell is fucking monumental in this series. Kristen Milioti is. She's so good because she's so unexpected. Like I expected to think that Colin Farrell was going to crush it, and she just fucking comes out of nowhere for me. And as much as I love Victor, they're so good. He seems pedestrian sometimes, but he's really good in the show. He's
he really
good.
is.
And the actress who plays his mom, Mama Cobb, she is fucking. Mama Cobb. And as the show goes on,
Deirdre something you said?
Yeah, O'Connell.
Yeah.
The scene where she almost gets her finger cut off, that's the kind of shit I like in film and television. Just 2 and 3 of them are in that scene.
Yeah.
Amazing actors just going fucking blow for blow. Right? They're just delivering their lines, and they're all just fucking at the top of their game in some of those scenes. Even when she first meets Oz's mom and she spits in her face, she spits in Sophia's face, and she holds the guy back. That interaction with them, it's just fucking amazing how good they are. all these fucking people. But Oz, it's gotta be Oz.
Nice. All right, Derek's is Sofia Giganti. She's so intense in her episode, shows such a range from not only the actress, but a whole character arc in a short amount of time. The entire series was a roller coaster with her character. The ties, the betrayals, the crashing down of her plans and dream of escape, and the tease of the unknown, what to come with her newly found sister, which is Selena Kyle.
Yep. Catwoman.
I also really liked Vic. You get invested in him. This kid who loses his family and friends, Riddler turns his world upside down, and then he gets involved with the Penguin, and he grows, and he gets harder.
Phrasing?
He kills his bully, he rallies the troops for Oz, or attempts to. He has this sweet relationship with Francis, and then bam, the finale comes, and his death is horrifying and heartbreaking and senseless, but it is so important to showing what Oswald really is. It was a really well-written character that served a really important purpose to the overall show. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that too.
I mean, what else are you going to do?
Said.
You know, Penguin's not going to have a sidekick. Batman has the sidekicks. The villains shouldn't, you know.
The villains have goons.
They have goons. I guess he could have been, but he was too nice to be a goon.
Two, Bob.
He could have been Bob.
He could have been the next Bob.
Bob Gunn.
I don't know, but he's getting that edge, and he fucks up so much in the beginning.
Yeah.
Oz could have killed him so many times.
Oh,
and
it's so
tries
true.
to kill him so many times.
Yeah.
And every time he wants to kill him,
so many second chances.
Every time he wants to kill him, he's like, you know what? No, I'm gonna let you go, and we're gonna try this again. And then when he finally proves that he's fucking everything he felt was 100% right, he just fucking kills him. And then icing on the cake, he steals the money out of his wallet.
Oh, I know.
Fucking license in the ocean. And I was like, that I actually liked.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what a piece of shit.
Yep.
That's some fucking gangster ass shit, man.
The final FU.
And this
the
is
final nail on the coffin.
Not a shot at Derek, but because he mentioned something about fleshed out characters in a short period of time. If you can make television and films well, then you should be able to do that. For me, because I give up on shows after season 3 most of the time.
Yeah, I know. You
I
said
lose
that.
fucking interest.
Yeah.
After season 3, there's very little that can be done that's going to make me want to keep watching a show. They wrap that shit up. If they never make another season, that show is fucking perfect.
Yeah.
It's just perfect. It's got a beginning, middle, and end. It's great.
Well, it's going to be in the next Batman movie.
Right.
That's good enough, too.
Which is fine. Yeah. The character is going to continue on, but if they don't make another series or whatever, I'm cool. This is fucking perfectly wrapped up. Too many of my favorite shows that never got that opportunity. It sucks, but this one,
Very true.
They did it well, and
That's
it's
a good point. Yeah. Least favorite characters. Wheezy, the chief of police there. I can't remember his name.
Oh, I like that he came back. I was like,
that
oh, a
he's back.
familiar face.
I
This
don't
guy
want-
with the fucked up voice.
Should have been Commissioner Gordon.
I agree.
Should have been Commissioner Gordon. I can't. Brian, you know this actor, and you had
I
told
do.
me he's actually very funny and very good.
He's funny because I told you the only other thing I remember seeing him in, and it came out right after the Batman, was Our Flag Means Death.
Right.
And he plays Blackbeard's second in command on that show. And it's not that he's funny, but it's just his reactions to everybody else.
Does he have that
Oh,
voice
yeah,
in
he
the
does.
show?
That's his voice.
Ah, okay.
That's his voice. Yeah, on that show he plays a character called Izzy Hands, and they call him Mr. Hands, and he's just fantastic on that show. He's got such an arc.
Maybe it's a voice that works for some things, but in the Batman in this, it just doesn't.
It definitely worked better in Our Flag Means
It just
Death.
takes you out of the scene. Thank God he wasn't in it for very long. In terms of more main characters on the show, Johnny Vitti. I like that actor. He was in the remake of Dawn of the Dead. I've seen him in a couple of other things, but I don't like him as Johnny Vitti. He's so like Johnny Vitti is supposed to be Luca Brasi from The Godfather.
Okay.
In the comics and Frank Miller's world, he's supposed to be this big, goonish kind of guy. Now, I know everything's different for the show, but this guy is not threatening. You couldn't believe just the way he looks, the way he acts. He's very out of place in this. I don't know. There's something about him. You got all these guys that look mobbed up, and he just doesn't look like he belongs
he doesn't have
there.
the look of a gangster.
No,
at all
he
to
doesn't
me.
have
Yeah.
any. There's nothing intimidating about him, and even when he tries to threaten Sophia, there's nothing that makes you think, "Oh, could he actually, like, there's no way he could mess anybody up.
Yeah.
You can easily see anybody taking him down.
Yeah, the only thing, I mean, keeping him safe really are the secrets that he has.
Right.
It's not so much his ability to make moves or whatever, which is evident because when she gets what she needs, she puts a bullet in his head.
Yeah, totally.
And you're just like, okay. That
And
makes
I was
sense.
happy when that happened. I was like,
he's
thank
fucking
God.
Useless.
I don't want to look at him. But he's, maybe I'm biased because I just know the character from the comic. I don't know. But that's pretty much mine. Sorry, I didn't mean to spit on you.
That's all right, man. I'm used to it.
All across the room.
Look at that.
What a sick
That's some
fuck.
airtime on that one.
What's your name? Brian. Do you have any least favorite characters?
Yeah,
or
Mark, you
character?
just spit on me.
Sorry.
No, I put Theo Rossi as Dr. Julian Rush. I love the actor, like I had just mentioned, but I really didn't like his character. I thought he was really fucking creepy.
He's
I really
strange.
did.
I don't know what the fuck he's doing in
Yeah.
this
He
show.
looks like a boy man.
Yeah.
He looks like a boy dressed like with man makeup on. He's
There
a
was
very
something
weird.
about him.
He's like obsessed with her. They're having sex, strapped to a chair.
Yeah.
Sometimes he works at Arkham. Sometimes he doesn't work at Arkham.
I know.
How did he get his job back?
He's
Did he
like a
quit?
2-week vacay. He's
Yeah.
like, take a vacay for a couple of weeks to make this check.
Taking his sabbatical.
He's hypnotizing Oz's mom. He's, it's, yeah.
He's probably union. That's why he's leaving. He's fucking leaving. I'm leaving work, guys.
Yeah.
2 hours early. I gotta go fuck a mob boss. And he did.
And he did.
You know, I love Mark Strong. I think he is such
I
a
do
phenomenal fucking actor.
Yeah.
But the fact that it's not John Turturro,
Yeah.
he doesn't work for me in this show.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He's like John Vitti, I guess, to
I was
you.
gonna
Like
say
Mark
that.
Strong doesn't work for me as Carmine Falcone.
Right.
It just doesn't work for me.
Okay.
I almost said that with mine because seeing Theo Rossi, because I'm used to seeing him as Shades.
Yeah.
And as Shades, he had hardly any hair. It was
Oh,
like
yeah,
really
yeah,
closely
yeah.
shaved. So to see him
Yeah.
like, without his sunglasses and with hair was odd. And then I was thinking like, same thing with Mark Strong. The guy's like as bald as Derek is.
Yeah.
And to see him with like the John Turturro wig, it was so strange.
Yeah, the wig is terrible.
Yeah.
And John Turturro's hair texture, it's all bad.
Yeah.
I read
Yeah.
something. It kind of soured me on John Turturro a little bit. That he didn't want to take the show, do the show because
Oh, don't tell me he thought it was beneath him.
no, too much. It was too much like violence involving women, something
yeah?
to that effect, which I thought was weird
Hmm.
because in the Batman he tries to strangle Selena Kyle to death. So I was just like, well, what's the real reason? I
Yeah.
don't know if that's true or not.
Yeah.
That was the
That's weird.
at least
Yeah.
the story he gave,
Mhm.
which I thought was weird, and it bums me out. Maybe it just they weren't going to pay him enough. It's the real story.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Well, watch it come out that he's deflecting and he's actually like abusing women in real life.
Oh.
It's going to come out next week.
Oh, the irony.
That
If
tomorrow.
that is the case.
But I love Turturro. I thought he was.
I do,
I
too.
thought he was a great Carmine Falcone.
I just rewatched Oh Brother Where Art Thou last night. I love that
fantastic
fucking movie.
actor. Mark Strong doesn't work for me. But really, my least favorite character of the show is also Oz.
Interesting.
He's my favorite and my least favorite. I fucking hate him,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
I truly love him.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like what you're doing there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
no,
real-
same.
Yeah.
Same. It's tough to root for the bad guy. And this show makes you root for the bad guy.
Yeah.
Mark Strong didn't bother me because he wasn't in it enough to
It's true.
have an impact. And these were flashbacks, so it was just like, oh, it's younger John Turturro. We'll go with that. That's fine. I like Mark Strong. I didn't have a
Oh, I
problem
do too.
with him. Like,
Dude, I think he's great. I
if he was
fucking
in
love
it
Mark
more,
Strong.
I probably would have noticed, and because I love John Turturro as well. But it wasn't the John. It wasn't the Falcone. It wasn't the Carmine show. So I was like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
But really, yeah.
But I can see
Oz is
that.
my fucking that fuck.
love him and hate him. He killed Vic.
He killed Vic.
Yeah.
So Derek's least favorite characters. Let me do it this way. I didn't like Dr. Rush. Theo Rossi is a great bad guy, but you never get a bead on this character.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think he means
Yeah.
beat.
No,
I like how
bead.
you read.
Bead?
Bead.
It's in text form, right?
Yeah, it's in text form.
I like you reading it like he
Thank
hand
you.
wrote it on his phone.
I know.
What is this word here?
What does
Put your
baffled
fucking
mean?
glasses on.
Baffled me.
Put your
I watched
cheetahs
that
on.
the other day.
Did you really?
Yeah. Is he? Because I
Happy
wanted more.
Halloween,
I wanted
ladies.
more.
Yeah.
Is he just another slime ball? Is he honestly in love with Sophia? What does she see in him?
I know.
Okay.
That's I was the same way. He's just weird. He's creepy. I don't
He
get
is.
him.
I don't get him either.
He's helping her on.
I thought it was going to be. I forgot his last name was Rush. All I heard was Julian. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, is he going to be Calendar Man? Because
Oh.
that's part of that whole scenario. But that was wishful thinking.
Mm.
Also
more
was
Halloween.
super happy when Vic shot Squid. That punk was a douche, and I'm
Oh,
glad
yeah.
he's dead. I wonder if that was Sid the Squid. Sid the Squid is
Sid the Squid.
as a gangster name that has popped up in Batman the Animated Series from time to time. I kind of wish.
Isn't there an episode on like a
There's
whole episode of
whole
Sid the
episode
Squid?
on
Yeah,
Sid
it's
the
a great,
Squid.
great
Yep.
episode.
Yeah, he the man who killed Batman.
Yeah.
So maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But anyway, he doesn't like the Squid, and he didn't like Dr. Rush. So
All
there
right.
you go. But okay, do you want more? Do I want more? I want more. I just want more of the universe. Tito, you made a point. If they don't make another Penguin series, fine, because it's so good the way it is. If they do, I would be anxious to see it, though. I would be very happy to see it. Whatever. If he's coming back in the movie, which it's confirmed he is, awesome. And we'll go from there. But I do want more of the universe.
Yeah. I can't imagine with all the positive buzz that this show is getting that they wouldn't go forward with another one. They need another home run.
Mm-hmm. This universe is delivering.
Yeah.
And it continues to deliver. They need to keep going.
Yeah, and without the help of James Gunn. So
Yeah,
that's
true.
good that
Yeah.
Matt Reeves has been able to create something that's really fucking good. That is enjoyable while we wait for whatever James Gunn is going to give us.
Yeah.
December, it's Creature Commandos.
Yeah,
And then the Superman movie.
that's 25, but I'm not sure. when
Yeah,
in 25.
these are both coming out in 2025. So we'll see. But for right now, I'm satisfied with this. Keep going with this universe.
Yeah.
Nice.
So you, Brian, what?
Do we want more? I just put, of course!
Of course!
Of course. For me, it was just Tuesday.
Tito?
Yeah, I want to see. I'm very excited. You're hearing all kinds of things. I'm hearing there's a Joker series in the mix. I'm hearing there's a Ladies in Arkham series in the mix. Sophia and Penguin are going to be in part 2, and then maybe a season 2 between part 2 and part 3. There's really so many things that can be done with this series and this world. It's tough because it gets to a certain point where I wonder if, because the first Batman is so psychological, that kind of change where I wonder if the Penguin in those films will always just kind of be like a side character, not a full-on like adversary for him in this world, right? Because it's fun when he mixes it up with them in the first one, but really the main story is the fucking Riddler.
Yeah.
And these murders that are happening, and it's so very dark. And maybe that's why Batman doesn't work in the show and why he doesn't appear, is because inserting this guy into a fucking gangster film maybe doesn't work in live action form, right? Maybe that doesn't work, but yeah, I'm very excited to see what happens. Take some chances. Fuck it. Like, who cares, right? Like, try to do some cool stuff.
And keep going.
People want to see something.
Even if you fail.
Yeah, keep going. Try
don't
something.
Don't trash the universe if one thing doesn't work.
Right. Try some shit.
Yes, have some.
But yeah, keep it going.
Derek just says, hell yes. Hell yes.
Hell to
of
the
course.
yes?
Hells to the yes.
Of
course.
His favorite film of all time.
Where should they take the show next? I like what they're doing and going to the next movie. If the next movie performs as well as this series and the last movie, they can do anything. This is your set. 3 times the charm, what have you. They can go anywhere. They can do anything. So we'll see how this third film does. And after that third film, let's bring in more villains. And let's do it smart like we've done it before.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the Joker for a while. If we are doing a Joker
Agreed.
series, I want it after Batman too.
I'm a little sick of the Joker.
Everybody is. And up until this series with the Penguin, even I was like, do we really need more Joker? But I'm curious to see what a Joker in this universe is going to be like, because I love this universe so much. So again, if we have a successful Batman 2 that carries this universe further, I'm all for a Joker series at that point. I'm going to want to see because the Joker is just as much a part of Gotham as Batman is. They're so linked, people are going to wonder where the hell he is by this point. So you're going to have to bring him in. You're going to have to at least make the nod. You're going to have to address him because he is synonymous with Gotham just as much as Batman.
Yeah.
even if people are sick of him, they're still going to be looking for him.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's my answer.
I mean, so much so after that first film came out, they released that 5-minute clip.
Yeah.
Of Barry Keoghan.
Oh, yeah, Keegan.
Keoghan doing, his Joker.
That's true. I forgot about that.
That was like an after-the-fact thing. It wasn't even a post-credit. It was just like, here's this 5-minute thing that we filmed.
Right, and he's just briefly seen at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
And that's all you need. And they did that back in the Nolan trilogy with Batman Begins. There was a nod to
the
him.
card. Yeah.
That's all you need. And that's all you need in Batman, too. Yeah. You got to know he's out there. You got to know. You have the fact that he's there, but you don't know where he is, slowly builds up that anticipation again. And I think that's what we need right now, And so that's where I'm hoping they go with that series. And I hope we get more characters, not only villains, but Renee Montoya, Bullock. I want more Commissioner Gordon. I want all the pivotal characters of Gotham, and even Robin.
Yeah.
I don't know how Robin fits into this universe, but who knows? Brian.
I think that definitely should. I mean, I'm not going to start pointing out scenarios. You guys are more the DC heads than I am. So I'm just looking forward to another season 2, if there's going to be another season 2. And if not, Colin Farrell has just said that he's got at least 5 or 6 good scenes in the upcoming Batman 2.
Right.
So at least we've got that. I just love this universe. I just want to see more. I want to be able to play a little bit more in it. I don't care what they give me. I'm just sick of the Joker.
Okay.
I'm all in. I love it.
Cool.
Yeah, they're doing a good job, I think, with it's hard. So I give Matt Reeves a lot of credit to try and balance, because a lot of the times we've complained. We get excited when there's a lot of people in a movie.
Yeah.
And then we're like, why did they have so many characters in that movie? They fucking ruined it.
It's overstuffed.
Sandman and Venom. Why did we, they just threw Bane in there. But if you do it right, it can be good. And I think he's done it right, especially with giving Oz his own show. He's only in a few scenes in the Batman. They're fucking really great scenes. If that's it, right? If he has 5 or 6 scenes in this new film, but he's not the center bad guy, but still a part of this world that Batman has to kind of live in, I like that idea. He doesn't have to fight all 5 villains at the end of the movie.
Right.
Not at all.
Right? They can just be stop gaps at certain points.
The best ongoing storylines of Batman is where Penguin has the Iceberg Lounge, and it's almost like a twisted Casablanca kind of place. Whether he has the information for good guys and bad guys, like Batman has had to go for him for information before. Villains go to him for information. I think that's where he needs to be. And if they keep him in 1 or 2 scenes and they keep him on the sidelines, I think he'll be more effective that way.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Yeah.
For me, where I would like the show to go, it will never go. I would have liked to have seen him continue to fight for control of the city, where it feels like now he's just got it. I would have liked to have seen that expansion of him continuing to try to work his way through the underground. And I would have liked to have seen what would have come of Victor in the future, how far he was actually willing to go for Oz.
Right.
Like he never, as much as he kills Squid's a fucked up piece of shit.
Yeah.
I don't think he deserved to die, but pushed him to a point where he had to do something to protect Oz. I wanted to see how far Oz was willing to push Victor, like what he would actually be willing to do for Oz, because he held him in such high regard and because he was family, right? How fucked up Oz could make Victor.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that idea. But if it's not going to happen, then give me some Batman.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'll take some Batman. Kicking ass.
Totally.
Yeah.
Kicking ass and
Because
taking
where I want to
names.
see it, it's not going to happen. But I want to see some Batman. That felt a little. Those 2 things felt forced to me: the letter from Selena Kyle and the bat signal at the end of the movie, at the end of the show.
I loved it.
It felt like shoehorned in.
Fine.
I was like, oh yeah, we forgot. Here's a letter from Selena Kyle.
I needed
it just
that.
Doesn't make any
but
sense.
I liked the letter though, because I liked that she read it, but we didn't hear it.
She seemed very excited about whatever she read.
Yeah, I liked that because it ties in more to the long Halloween than just simply shooing Selena Kyle. Or shoehorning, whatever. And I needed that back. I just needed the bat signal in that sky to know that he's there.
Nice
now
end.
that I know that he's there,
Yeah.
and that's all I need. Oh, he is there. We don't know what he's doing, but he's there.
And where is the Batman? He's at home, washing his tights.
Counting
He
money.
may not be responding to the bat signal.
The cops are looking for him too.
Mm-hmm. Could be anything. Well, I was happy with that. That's a cool looking bat signal, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
A cherry on top of this.
Absolutely.
I don't like it.
I don't like it. No, sir, I don't like it. I don't like that. Don't do that. Little Tito don't like that. Derek says, I want to see the rebirth of Oswald's Iceberg Lounge. I want to see him mix it up with the other rogues. There was a hinting of the Court of Owls, and I'd love to see some interaction and exploration there. Yeah, I would totally love the Court of Owls.
I would too, but it almost feels too far-fetched for this world.
For the world of
Matt Reeves.
The Matt Reeves world.
It seems too... That's like the end just seems too over the top. It doesn't seem... I guess it is.
It's not as grounded as the rest of
for
it
some
was.
reason, it doesn't feel as... It's cool to see
Maybe
him in the top hat and the
not
suit,
now,
but then I'm
but
just
let's say in the future after
Yeah.
another movie and another one of these series when the gangster elements are all getting wiped out, we got to go in a different direction. The Court of Owls might be maybe the next step down the line. You know?
Yeah. It's just one more thing for Batman to do instead of fucking fix his own city. You know?
He tries, you
I don't know,
know.
he's got a lot of money.
He's got
man.
a lot of rogues.
He probably could have made a phone call and got the power turned on.
No, he could.
Or ask Alfred to do it. He's got time.
Yeah.
I thought Alfred was recovering.
That's a big cave.
Yeah, he's sitting in
That's a
oh,
big
yeah,
cave
he got
to
blown
dust.
up. Yeah, he got blown up.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Maybe new gangs
Alfred's
to help.
lights are out too.
Oh, poor Alfred. Derek also says maybe new gangs to help divide Gotham up. Tobias Whale or Black Mask.
Oh, yeah.
Do something like that.
I was
Better,
thinking Black Mask too.
maybe?
So that's what I'm
Yeah.
thinking. Like, who's the fucking Rupert Thorne?
Rupert Thorne.
Somebody like that.
Mhm.
Or who's the guy that runs the Ajax? The fucking business guy. Isn't he played by he's in the fucking Nolan movies. He is played by Rutger Hauer. Maybe it's not that character, but he was in the animated series too.
Roland Daggett.
Yes.
Roland
something
Daggett,
like
yes.
that. I feel like these characters can work
They
in
can
this
work.
world.
Sure, they could. That's actually a good idea.
As much as I would love to see that.
Roland
They're
Daggett,
truly absurd.
could be responsible for a lot of those gimmick villains because half of the stuff he creates have
makes
been,
his-
Clayface in the animated series. Clayface starts off because of Roland Daggett's cream products, and that sounds gross. Okay, what rogue for Reevesverse next? He calls it the Matt Reevesverse. I like that. What rogue would you like to see next in this Matt Reeves universe? Whether it would be, down the line or right now.
You want to go? I got a bunch.
I just picked Poison Ivy.
Poison
I don't
Ivy.
think Poison Ivy has been done right except for the animated series.
I would like to see. I would go with you for Poison Ivy. Could be a lot of fun for this one.
It's about time we had a good female villain, like a
I-
true villain. Like, I mean, we had Selena Kyle in the last one, but she was kind of like she's kind of like Batman's sidekick.
Pre-Catwoman.
Yeah,
she always kinda walks the line.
She wasn't.
But it's
Catwoman.
long. It's very long Halloween of them.
That's right.
That's kind of how she's rolling.
I tell
on
you
that.
who I want to see done right is freaking Two-Face. I want Two-Face in this universe, and I want to see it done correctly.
Well, that's an absurd character that can still work in this world.
In this world, absolutely.
Yeah.
If done right, for sure.
See, because I got Killer Croc. If you're gonna make another show, I would like to see a
We
Killer
need
Croc
Killer
show.
Croc.
But a Killer Croc show is not. I don't think can exist in this world.
Not yet.
Prove me wrong, Matt Reeves.
Not yet.
But I would love to see fucking Killer Croc and the story of fucking Killer Croc.
It's one of those things like if you go by, say, like the Frank Miller, Jim Lee kind of universe, when you're going like year one, the idea of putting something like Scarecrow or Killer Croc in that world does not work. But when you get up to like something like Hush, then anything works.
Everything goes.
Yeah. So I just feel like as the universe, if it continues to progress, and it does and grows, and the characters grow and the city grows and changes, Gotham in the future could definitely harbor a Killer Croc or a Court of Owls
We
or a
hope.
Scarecrow. We hope. Right now we can't.
Well, I feel like Scarecrow can work in that world because there's still enough like of Jonathan Crane where even he wears a mask and he's just fucking weird.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, they
And he
did it.
injects
I mean, they
people
did
with
that
shit.
well
They do
in
it
Batman.
well with
because-
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, they really did.
They did.
Hush was the other because I feel like it's a easy enough step to make. Hopefully, something like that wouldn't make it too stale when you're going like serial killer back to back kind of thing.
Yeah.
But really, I would like to see a fucking procedural with like Montoya and Bullock, if possible, or Bullock. I fucking love Harvey Bullock.
I love Bullock.
I like when he's in anything. He's very entertaining. I would love a fucking Harvey Bullock Gotham PD show. They're just fucking hanging out every once in a while. Shit's going down. Batman's just in the background. It's very, Law and Order-ish, homicide life on the streets. I'd love to see some shit like that.
I'd like to see them take on somebody like Mr. Zaz.
Oh, yes. Another character that would fit well.
A villain that's not so much an oddity. Like, he's got his quirks, but he's not Killer Croc or Mr. Freeze.
Right.
Mr. Zaz would be
Mr.
pretty cool.
Zaz would be a good, that's a good one. Yeah, it's hard to kind of figure out what would work in this universe because the Penguin works so well based on what they did with him.
Right.
The Joker can work. The Riddler clearly worked.
The Riddler worked.
Catwoman worked.
The Joker could work.
Right. Could King Tut work in this world?
I don't know. Doubt it. Zebra Man? Think we'll get Zebra Man? I want to see Condiment King back.
Right. Yeah, right.
John Mulaney as Condiment King.
But oddly enough, in Long Halloween, like Calendar Man fucking works for that story.
Yeah.
As absurd as he is, it works.
Right.
It fucking works. So I don't know. Who knows?
It depends.
Yeah.
It depends who writes it and
Who knows.
Let's see. Derek says Reeves is clearly obsessed with making his Gotham a more realistically grounded Gotham, so a lot of the outlandish characters or goofy ones would have a hard time fitting in, which we just said. I am very excited to see that they might have in mind for the big guns like Two-Face, Mr. Freeze, and Poison Ivy. There we go, on the same page. But this gritty, grimy, violent Gotham of Reeves would be a perfect home for the Grant Morrison-era villains, some of whom appeared half-assedly, that's a word, half-assedly on Gotham.
I like that.
Professor Pig and his Circus of the Strange, Phosphorus, Rex, Mr. Toad, Big Top, and Tony Daniels' Dollmaker, The Court of Owls, Deadshot, Deathstroke, Hugo Strange. Hugo Strange
works.
Hugo Strange definitely works.
Deadshot can work.
Deadshot, Deathstroke.
Even fucking Harley Quinn could work in this.
I like,
world.
actually, Dollmaker would be kind of cool. Professor Pig would be a lot of fun to do. Because that's more of the Zaz kind of serial killer sort of character.
And it fits in this world of dark kind of psychological thriller.
Yeah.
That is this Batman.
That's Penguin.
That's Penguin.
We're
baby.
in. That's the Penguin.
Nice.
See it. Highly recommended from all four dads. Absolutely check this show out. If you haven't seen it, watch it. If you haven't seen The Batman, listen to our show on The Batman. And then, well, actually, no, see The Batman first, then listen to our show.
Yeah.
We probably spoil a bunch of shit on
We
there.
spoil everything.
Right.
That's our job, man.
That's what we do, man.
Spoil
That's
shit.
just 3GD, man.
That's just
We
3GD.
spoil our listeners.
That's right, with good content.
What's making our geek flag fly? Honestly, I've got nothing. I've been
You got
watching
nothing?
Penguin and I've been watching Hysteria, which I brought up last week.
Yeah.
And we're almost
Peacock.
done with it. And
Is it good?
It's
You still
great.
liking it?
I
Are all
really
the
like it.
episodes out?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yep, I believe they're all out.
How many
Another
episodes is it?
8-episode show, I believe.
What's it streaming on?
Peacock.
Peacock. Okay.
So that's it. As
All
of
right.
now, I got to find a new show now that the Penguin's done and Agatha's done. I don't know what to watch next. I am looking forward to Daredevil Born Again.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that'll be cool.
that's all I got.
We hope.
Nice.
Be Ryan.
The only thing that I really watched new is the movie Brothers. That's on Amazon Prime. It's Josh Brolin and Peter Dinklage.
Oh, I wanted to see that.
as they're twins.
Is that the other guy, Josh Brolin?
It's Josh Brolin. And they're twins. And Peter Dinklage gets out of prison and he wants to go on one more heist. His brother Josh is kind of reforming himself. He's trying to start a family and go legit. He has a wife and the dynamic with his father-in-law is funny. But Peter talks him into going on this one last road trip for this one last heist that has to deal with their mom. Their mom is played by Glenn Close. And speaking of people looking like not like themselves, Glenn Close, at first I thought it was Catherine O'Hara.
Really?
She has like a blonde wig on, and just the way she smiled, I'm like, holy shit, it's Moira. And then, no, that's Glenn Close. Brendan Fraser is in it. He plays the prison guard that he let Dinklage out of prison early. He in cahoots with his judge father.
Yeah.
So he's in on this heist with him, but he's keeping tabs on him the entire way. So he's like 2 steps behind them, and he's always fucking things up for them. It's kind of funny. I thought it was going to be a lot funnier than it was. There's one hilarious scene where Dinklage shows up in an old girlfriend of his, and she is played by Marissa Tomei. I don't know if she's credited in the movie. It might be a cameo. So he's trying to get it on with her, and in the meantime, she's got this fucking orangutan living in her house.
That's awesome.
That she's trying to keep secret, but it gets loose and starts fucking around with Josh Brolin while he's waiting for Dinklage to do his thing with Marissa Tomei. And it just gets really absurd. That was the funniest part of the movie. It's like, oh, you know sign language? Oh, that's cool. You know, it's just... the monkey wants him to jerk him off after
Jesus.
it just goes so south so fast.
But so fast.
It's a decent movie. I thought it was going to be a lot funnier than it was, but it's a pretty good story.
But enough to make your geek flag.
Enough to make my geek flag fly. I did laugh at that part. I do like all the actors that are involved in it. M. Emmett Walsh plays the judge.
Yeah.
It's a really
M.
good...
Emmett Walsh.
Yeah. Remember
he's
him?
still kicking.
I know. I thought he was dead too.
Away.
You try to kill him, he won't die.
Yeah.
All right.
We just talked about him.
We'll see about
Jesus.
He lives long enough. That's funny. I was just looking up Brothers, and it actually brings me to my geek flag because they're directed by the same guy.
Oh, I did not know that.
And I don't know who the fuck it recommended
You
this
like my
movie
segue,
to me.
Tino?
Fantastic.
Good segue.
I thought it was somebody here.
It was planned.
I thought it might have been somebody at work. It might have been Dean, because Dean recommended a few things last time I saw him.
And then he forgets that he recommends them. He thinks that we recommended them.
Dude, I don't know. I was thinking all these people, and they're like, I never brought up this movie. And then I was like, maybe Brian said something. And I was like, and then nobody was like, it wasn't me. Palm Springs.
Oh, yeah.
I watched this movie, Palm Springs, last week. It is so fucking good. And I watched it because Kristen Milioti is in it, Sophia.
Okay.
And I was so in love with her from Penguin. I was like, oh, she's in something else. Let me see. It's her and Andy Samberg. It's essentially a Groundhog's Day. J.K. Simmons is in it. But it
Peter Gallagher.
It picks up. He's already kind of having lived through so many.
Oh, Tyler Hoechlin's in it?
Yeah.
He's the one that
the
plays Superman on the new TV show.
And the chick that played Camila Mendez, she was Veronica in the Archie series.
Oh, okay.
The CW series.
Quinn would.
Oh, Riverdale.
Yeah, Riverdale. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, not Archie.
Yeah, Quinn would be able to tell you who she was.
So he is living the same day over and over again, which is him waking up the day of a wedding that he went to with his girlfriend. And when you pick up with him, he has been there. You don't know how long, but to the point where he is like, he knows exactly what everybody's going to do. And he meets this girl and they have a moment. And there's this cave that, for whatever reason, if you go into that cave, you fall into this world of the Groundhog's Day. She follows him in one day, and they're now both stuck in this time loop. She desperately wants to get out. He is so used to living in it that he's afraid to get out. And it's really funny. It's really, really good. And it's a nice take on it. It's really not I mean, the idea has been done so many fucking times. Groundhog's Day is a fucking phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
Happy Death Day is Groundhog's Day. That was a really fun take on it. This is a really nice, funny take on, like, she spends, you don't know how long she spends, but she learns like astrophysics.
Jesus.
She teaches it to herself every day. She wakes up and she goes on the computer. She reads books to get to a point where she's just like, she's drawing these cubes and she's like, if we do this thing, and she makes this loop, and if we jump in at the right time, it should bring us back to where we're supposed to be.
There for a while.
But you don't know how long they've been
right,
there. It's crazy to the point where he can't even remember what his old life was, which makes him so afraid to leave his current life. It's very good. It's called Palm Springs. Whoever recommended it to me, fucking good recommendation. It's a really phenomenal film.
What's it on again?
I watched it on Hulu.
Hulu, okay.
Yeah, it's very good. Short. And it's an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Dude.
Right in your
On the
window.
dot.
What are we doing here? Hour and a half. Let's fucking go.
There, bring them back. Bring back the hour and a half movie.
And she's so good in it. She's so good. I need to see her in more things.
Right? Yeah. I'll check it out because I like her too. Derek, I watched the Music by John Williams documentary on Disney+.
Oh, I watched that too.
Yeah, I've always been a fan of his work. His music really got me into film scores, and I dreamed of playing for the Boston Pops back when he was conducting.
Oh, did his dreams come true?
I don't think so.
Sorry, Derek.
I don't think so, but I'm sure the documentary was good. Also, season 3 of What If looks like it got some fun stories. It's got.
Did it start?
It got some fun stories.
No, they
up.
put a trailer out though.
Yeah.
Oh, Storm's in it.
Yeah,
Trailer dropped.
Storm,
The trailer dropped. I haven't seen that.
Yeah,
yet.
the trailer
Lots
dropped
of
the other
Red
day.
Guardian, White Vision, Shang-Chi and Kate Bishop in the Old West adventure, Mecha Avengers, Power Zord, Howard the Duck, and Darcy, the male girl. No. Excited
No,
about that.
Darcy from WandaVision. Kat Dennings.
Yeah, I didn't really think it was. Oh, that's right. It's her. I'll still check it out.
She's got big boobs too.
I know.
They're real and they're spectacular.
And quick shot of
I
Mysterio
think they're
hooked up
hers.
to what I originally thought was Cerebro, and of course Storm is Thor. Crazy stuff. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. Oh no, because that's the one thing I like about what James Gunn's doing with DC. The voice actors will be the live action actors.
Right. Yeah.
Like my boy Frank Grillo's in Creature Commandos as Rick Flag Sr., and he's gonna play him in the live action version. I'm a fan of.
Yeah,
Frank
you had
Grillo.
mentioned that, and I agree. I like that too.
I like that idea.
Awesome. All right. Well, Tito, because you recommended it to me in the I told you to remind me of something in the beginning, and I can't remember what it was. But it was to go back and listen to something that I said.
Flashback.
All right. It's me. It's me this week.
It's you this week.
I'm going Tim Curry, Legend.
Oh, that's
I didn't even think of that one, and I love that goddamn movie.
I did. You could never recognize Tim Curry
Nope.
at all.
It's
I
only-
sure as hell did not.
Only in the voice.
Innocence. That's a good pick.
Yeah.
What have we here? A little boy?
Boy. Oh, no, that's the tall man.
That's the tall man.
Yeah, for those who don't know what Legend is, Tim Curry is basically the devil. He's called Darkness, but he is known for these
For those who don't know, Mark,
extravagant
go listen to the
horrors.
episode we did on Legend.
I could have done that too.
One of our fantasy Februarys
that's
from
right.
about 3
That's
years
right.
ago.
We'll get back to that at the end. Remind me.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right
thank
in
you,
your nose,
Tito.
right in your nose.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Is
So-
it the episodes that Tito? The episodes that Tito.
This is why
Oh, you said a whole thing about
a whole thing about
Yeah.
something.
They should listen to the episode. Where
Let's
we
go back
talked
and listen
about
to
it.
our own episode.
Hey guys, go back to the beginning of the episode. and
Guys, go
re-listen.
back to the beginning of this episode to remember what it was we wanted you to go back and listen to other episodes about. This is what happens, man. This
Sucks getting old, doesn't it?
It's not fun. It was a thing. Something about going back and listening to us talk about something.
Yeah.
Which we do in many
do it all the
episodes.
time.
Brian, how can they get to these episodes?
They can get to www.3gdpodcast.com. That's www.
The number 3.
gdpodcast.com. And as Mark said, you'll be able to find all of our past episodes there, along with one-click buttons where you can easily subscribe to us. If you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? Hit one of those buttons at the website to the podcast platform of your choice, and you will never miss an upcoming episode. Also, at the website, there's a spot where you can rate and review the show, or you can do it wherever you can rate and review podcasts. A 5-star rating and a review go a long, long way to help push us a bit further forward from the rest of the podcasting pack, and it makes it easier, more importantly, for others to find us while they're searching. And our social media links are there. We are at Facebook, Instagram, and our audio can be found weekly on YouTube as well. We have a Ko-fi page.
Do we?
We have a Ko-fi page, Mark. It's linked to at the website as well, and any donation of any size would be greatly appreciated because, as we always say, podcasting is not cheap. And I think that's pretty much it. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to you, Mark.
Thank you, Brian. Thank you, Tito. Thank you, Derek, who is here in spirit. And thank you, everybody out there, for listening to us. As always, until next time for Three Geeky Dads, I'm Mark.
I'm Brian.
I'm Tito.
Saying goodnight and keep watching the skies. 'Cause it was Legend. That's what it was. Go back and listen to our episode on Legend.
Yes.
Because I started talking about Legend.
Your appetizer was Tim Curry.
And I
and
said,
Legend.
if you haven't seen Legend, see
Not
it.
Tim Roth.
Tim Curry, not Tim Roth. Go check out Tim Roth and Reservoir Dogs. We have not, I don't think we talked
I'm fucking dying.
Good night.
Yeah, tell us the joke.
I think he has two of them. So the first one is, the Penguin brings his car into the auto shop after it starts leaking oil really bad. The mechanic tells him it'll be about an hour.
Is this the I've blown a seal?
He
didn't write this one.
So Oz goes across the street to the ice cream shop and
Yep.
starts picking out on vanilla ice cream. When he's done, he goes back to the shop and asks the mechanic if he's figured out what's wrong with the car. The guy says it looks like you blew a seal. So Oz shakes his head and says, "Nah, it's just ice cream." That's one.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is
It's very long.
This one is even
Waka waka waka.
A cop pulls the guy over and he's got a penguin in his back seat. The cop says, "Is that your penguin?" The man says, "Yes, it's my pet." The cop shakes his head and points down the street. "You need to take it to the zoo right now." So the man agrees to drive off. The next day, the cop sees the man again and pulls him over. He looks
Tito?
He looks in the back, and the penguin is there again, wearing sunglasses. The cop says, "I thought I told you to take that penguin to the zoo." The man says, "I did. Today we're going to the beach."
That one I like.
Okay, we'll do that one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Take the penguin to the zoo. I did. Tasty. Yes. Yes, Quinn. It's tasty.
It is a tasty beverage.
That'll be Halloween, ladies.
Oh, I need a beverage. I'm going to get a beverage.
I thought you had a beverage. Oh, do you want a whiskey?
No.
Do a beer. Not the beer. The beer. Yeah, this beer's in there. Derek drank all your Ganses, but there are there are Modelo's in there.
I do like Modelo.
Yeah, I like the Modelo's
How's
too.
a Modelo?
Are they in that one?
There's a Gansen in there.
Oh.
Wait. We need your tiny little hands to get way back there.
You're squirrely.
You can bend down. See, way back there where it says "Hi neighbor." There it is. That's.
Oh yeah, shake the rest of them up.
That was an all-time low for you, I
Don't
think.
judge me. No.
Hey, small child, come over here. Can you reach that beer for me?
I called her by her name. Young one.
Child, help me, please. I need to.
Daddy can't reach his medicine.
Uncle Mark needs his beer.
Daddy can't reach his medicine, honey. Can you help Daddy?
I need a man.
I need a man. I need a beer.
Dude,
Ugh.
that's one.
Why do you sound like a drunk JFK? I need a beer.
I need a beer.
Chowder.
Man, chowder.
It's pronounced chowder.
Say it right, Frenchie.
Chowder.
I kill
I'm gonna
you.
enjoy this.
I am not a Clouseau like waiter.
Chowder.
Okay. Are we ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Brian, are you ready?
I'm ready. We're rolling.
All right. Okay, guys, listen up.
Capone and his boys are on his way to the hideout.
Here we go, right here.
That's the
All right, listen up. This is an all-points bulletin.
I need my cheaters.
No, this is an all-time low for you. I thought the beer was bad, but this is. Your eyes are enormous. Enormous. They're the biggest I've ever seen them.
Did I do that?
Grace, she died 30 years ago.
How many levels of thickness have you gone through? Oh, quite a bit.
4 feet. 2 feet.
Yeah, let the record show
Let the
he's
record
holding
show,
up 2
Mr.
fingers.
Gambini.
Your Honor, please.
What's her name? Miss what? Miss Bailey and only Miss Bailey.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Full.
These hurt my eyes after a while, so let's go. Oh, it's like, oh, you're all aliens.
You're wearing them wrong.
They're upside down.
They're upside down. They're inside out.
It's like when you hold the binoculars the wrong way.
They're all so far away.
Where did you go? All right, boys, listen up. A cop pulls a guy over and he's got a penguin in the back seat. The cop says, "Is that your penguin?" The man says, "Yes, it's my pet."
The main course. I think it was me.
That was you?
Yeah, my wife and daughter are communicating.
They're communicating.
Telepathically.
The order. Texting.
Sorry. That she has. That's why I was happy with it. Otherwise, I agree.
Oh.
So, whoops.
Was that you or me again?
That was me.
This fuck over here.
Sorry about that. You?
I'm just goofing.
Yeah, just Josh.
It's tough for a specific episode, but I do like Bliss. Everything I'm hearing is this show is the fucking tits.
Mm-hmm.
By everyone. I think I thought I hit your cat by
No,
accident.
sorry. You just
Might have been Mark.
Was that you?
I don't know. So, no, it was a cord.
Okay.
Sorry. It's okay.
Continue, Brian.
That was it. I was done. That was it. He's totally won me over, and his performance, particularly, yeah.
Who,
So, first off, I like what they're doing and going to the next movie.
A Ko-fi page is what we have for donations.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy. Let me start that over. We have a Ko-fi page.
Do we?
We have a Ko-fi page. Mark? Thinking of
Tickle
earlier
me.
before I forget.
Tickle me.